Poets' Day, Plague for Today by Damien Bell. When malady infests the land and death picks up his scythe, he skips about, his blade in hand, his attitude is blithe. Now please forget to wash your hands, he cheerily asserts, and closer than 2 meters stand, thus creepily he flirts. Here, put this stick far down your throat till you begin to choke. Then shove it up your nose to coat with fluids, so Death spoke. You cannot stop me with a mask, he grins beneath his cowl. Now dip your sample in the flask, you might have something foul. Behold, there is a second line. You could soon be a goner. What ails me? Really, I feel fine. What else? It is Corona. Now of 2 poets you shall hear, who must evade a sickness, though Donny's down with something queer, and Mervin's struck with thickness. Okay, so that's Mrs. Freak's carpet waiting to be laid, Reverend Thumper Twizzle's cactus collection still to be repotted, and the stage build for the opening night of Miss Arto's production of Death of a Salesman on Ice, what's the phrase? Indefinitely on hold. So now for the only job I can actually do, give Donny his medicine.
Mervin, is that you? Hurry up with my remedy. I'm fading fast.
Coming, Donny! Oh, I don't know. Here I am, Donny. How are you feeling?
Not well, Mervin. I will go as far as to say...
Out of sorts?
No.
Indisposed?
No.
Peaky?
No.
Poorly?
No.
Infirm?
No.
Afflicted?
No.
Sick?
No.
Ill?
No.
Not yourself?
The very words, Mervin. The very words indeed. Right, almost nearly practically close enough first time. I do not feel myself.
Then how do you feel?
Stop right there, Mervin. I will brook no smut here.
Oh, I only meant...
Hold your proverbial immoral horses there, Mr. Mule. When I say I will brook no smut, I mean no smut shall be brooked.
All right, Donny, point taken.
And then when I say I do not feel myself, I mean to say I do still actually, of course, feel myself, however, currently in an unusual, displeasing, distressing and disagreeable way.
That's a lot of dis to be dealt, Donny. Perhaps you could write a poem about it.
No.
No.
Now is not the time for literary pursuits. Now is the time for...
A spot of breakfast, read the morning papers and plan the day ahead.
Absolutely not. Under any circumstances, now is the time for subtle chemical arts. Give me my medicine.
The red medicine or the white medicine?
Both, of course.
Here you go.
An excellent choice, Merv. 2006 was a fine year for medicine. Now, for the science part, bring me my cauldron.
Just a second.
Now, to add a precise and specific measure. Right, yes, just right, a bit more, I'll live a little, just a spot more, that'll do, why not? And now, to add my secret blend of herbs and spices. Bring me my medicine chest.
Hold on a mo.
Right, I'll just need to unlock it with my special key. Now, Mervin, I must ask you to turn away that so you do not see the special ingredients I use in my medicine.
Oh, come on, Donny, it's me.
No, none may know my secret recipe. Avert thy gaze forthwith, I command thee.
All right, have it your way.
Right. Horse tranquilizers, bovine uppers, elephant depressants, dragon decongestant. Aha, that's it. My most secret ingredient. Shaken vac. There we go. I'll just have to leave it to simmer.
Is that why it's so stifling in here? It's steaming like a jungle.
Do I criticise your preferred humidity?
No, but wouldn't you like to crack open a window and have some honey and lemon?
Honey and lemon? Are you suggesting that I, Don Fletcher Park, have been laid low by a communal garden cold?
Well, I just thought, with you taking so much bed rest...
Oh, Mervin, Mervin, ye of little faith. Do you believe that one as stylish, elegant, resplendently coiffured and notoriously opinionated such as I could be laid up with an ordinary illness?
But, Donny, you've not been out of bed for a month.
I do not see that this fact has made any significant difference to my schedule.
True enough. But what have you been doing with your time?
You know me, Merv. I'm a man of action, a man of vital energy, restless for adventure. But I'm also a man of deep and complex mental adroitness, a master of intellectual prowess with a BTEC diploma in mind over matter transference and an honorary doctorate in spiritual voodoo MacGuffins.
So you've been convalescing?
How dare you, Merv? I've been exploiting my transcendental powers, as learned from genuine top-of-the-line exotic gurus.
Crikey.
You know my mental abilities are almost unlimited in their potential. Admit it, you don't know anyone even remotely as mental as me.
There's no arguing with that. But then why the medicine?
Why, this medicine is just a sop to the palate. I need it not.
Oh, all right. Should I throw it out?
That's too late.
Did you drink all of that?
All gone.
Okay, Donny. Well, I've got to get over to Mrs. McSweeney's independent new and antiquarian bibliographic emporium. I said I'd open up the shop for her as she's in hospital again, the poor old girl.
Is she gonna die?
Oh, no. Dr. Boatman's on holiday.
Then what ails her? Not the shock of another book sale, surely.
Not this time. They think she's caught the mystery virus.
Mystery virus? What hokum, bunkum, twaddle, claptrap and 7 shades of nonsense is this?
What do you mean, Donny? It's been the talk of everywhere for weeks. Have you not seen it on the telly?
In times of healing, the television is expressly to be utilised for button moon reruns only. Mervin, as well you know.
Sure, we all know Button Moon's good, Donny. I mean, there's no denying it, the production values alone. But in times of crisis...
Only in the calming influences of Mr. Spoon and his adventures can we find solace.
But it's an international emergency, Donny.
International emergency? Why wasn't I told? What is this insanity? How did it start?
Well, it's believed to have originated in distant lands and is supposed to have stemmed from someone licking the back of a frog or something.
What? What colour frog?
They never said. Does it matter?
Eh? What? No, frog licking! When? Madness! How? Where? I never! What are the symptoms?
Hallucinations and foaming at the mouth.
Impossible to tell.
Okay. Well, if you're thinking that you're experiencing symptoms, you have to make yourself nearly sick with a little plastic stick and then put it up your nose and then stick that in a tiny tube and squirt it onto another plastic stick and wait to see how many lines appear.
Ooh. Whatever for, Mervin?
Well, to see if you've caught the mystery virus, of course.
And if you have, what then?
Then you have to isolate.
What? More than we've been doing already?
Well, for those of us inclined towards an outdoor lifestyle involving social intercourse, it's a serious imposition, this lockdown, I'll have you know.
A lockdown, you say? The effrontery.
But you haven't left the house for a month of your own choosing.
Precisely, Mervin. Of my own choosing. It is an imposition on my freedom to come and go and spread disease as I see fit as a free citizen.
Well, there's a lot of rules in place. You have to wear a protective mask if you want to go out. Only you're not to go out, except to the shops. But only essential shopping is allowed. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. I better hurry up and get the bookshop open. Cheerio!
I've got to find out more about this frog. Hush, Simon.
Unlocking the bookshop, yeah. Unlocking the bookshop now.
Good morning, sir. Might I inquire what you're doing?
Oh, good morning, Constable. I'm just unlocking the bookshop to open her up.
And why are you doing that, given the current circumstances?
Current circumstances? I'm sorry, officer. I don't understand what you mean.
I mean, sir, that there are restrictions on business opening.
Ah, but that's only non-essential businesses. This is a bookshop.
Bookshops are not considered essential businesses during the current crisis. I'm afraid you can't open.
Not essential? But how can you say that? Books are informative, instructional, edifying. Or better yet, they're transformative, transporting, wondrous and inspiring. How can you say these aren't important things during a time of crisis?
Well, when you put it like that, sir, you cast things in a whole new light.
Well, I mean, of course it does, yeah. I mean, listen to this, for example. Sheep Seen Through Fingers, Images of Essex, a collection of poems by Mervin Mule. That's me. This is an early one, you know, it's a bit rough and ready, but it'll illustrate the point. The day that I went walking. I once went walking in some mud. I dropped my stick. It landed thud. It struck my boot. There was no blood the day that I went walking. Rambling across a country field, my ankle twisted, starts to yield. But with two legs, my fate's not sealed the day that I went walking. I had to cross a little stile, but I'd been walking mile on mile, so sat there stuck for quite a while the day that I went walking. I met a man upon my way.
Stop! I arrest you in the name of all that is good and literary.
Oh, bother.
Leslie, I'm glad to find your esteemed emporium open. I just went to the library for vital research purposes of the utmost importance, was shocked and it may be said horrified to find they are locked up tight.
Oh yeah, morning, Don. Well, they would be. Us, however, are news agents, essential services we are. What's this vital research for?
Oh, nothing. I'm writing a book on spoons.
Oh, right, sounds very pressing. Sorry to be the health Gestapo, mate, but you need to be wearing a mask into the shop.
Les, let's not beat about the proverbial bush. It must be quite apparent to you that I am indeed wearing a mask.
Well, yes, Don, but it's not the right sort of mask, is it?
I do not comprehend your meaning, Les.
Well, it's got to be a protective mask, like mine.
Les. Protective mask, dear me, no. Les, what you have on your face is a small rectangle of unadorned pale blue fabric covering your mouth and nose. What I have is a genuine, authentic, certified reproduction, full-face demon avatar tribal mask, replete with horns, protective talismans, magical wards and symbols of arcane power, with fully functioning mouth and eye holes. Now, what do you honestly think is offering greater protection, and to whom?
It's got to cover your mouth and nose, Don. It's got to catch the droplets or some such.
Droplets? Frog droplets?
Frog droplets, Don? What, tadpoles, do you mean?
I cannot help but think we're talking at cross purposes. What are we conversing about here, Leslie? Catch me up, illuminate me.
Seriously, Don, can't you just put a mask on first? There's some by the door. Just take one and pop it on, eh?
Are you trying to stifle me, Leslie? Are you denying the protective authority of my chosen mask?
Look, I've got my mum in a bubble to think about.
Your mam in a bubble? What deranged lunacy is this? Honestly, Les, I never took you for the type to engage in maternal abuse.
Abuse? What?
I'm sorry, Leslie, but this will not stand. Police! Police!
Can I help you, sir?
Aha! A police officer of the law, a peeler, a roser, a cop, the fuzz, a pig, the filth, how fortuitous.
That's enough of that, sir. What's going on here, then?
Nothing, Sheila. It's a misunderstanding. I was just asking Don to put on a mask.
Nothing, he says, as the loins of his fruits asphyxiates in a vacuum.
Vacuum, Don?
I don't know what you're talking about, sir, but you've got to put a mask on.
I have got a mask on.
Not that sort of mask, sir.
What then?
One of these face masks, like mine and Les's.
Mask indeed, that doesn't even count as a man-sized tissue.
All right, you. I have to ask you to accompany me outside, please.
Who, me, Sheila?
No, Les, look at who I'm pointing at.
Me?
No.
Me?
Yes, you.
You are pointing at me? I, an acknowledged poet of the realm with literary accolades and quite possibly an honorary doctorate of the University of somewhere or other, if I could remember or be bothered to look it up. You are pointing your finger in the direction of my personage.
Yes.
I am quite literally being fingered by a bobby.
Yes. Well, no, I'm not entirely sure if that's what that means. But you, sir, need to step outside or put a mask on now.
For the last time, and I am loath to repeat myself when I am not placing an order at the bar, I am wearing a mask.
Right, that's enough.
There you go, Leslie. The wages of sin.
Who have I handcuffed?
Is it me?
No, it does in fact appear to be me, Les.
Oh, that's a relief. I don't know how my dear old mum would have taken it.
Yes, your poorly mam, trapped in a bubble. You're a sick man, Les. And you, an officer of the law in cahoots with a degenerate mothering prisoner.
All right now, sir, come with me. We'll have a nice chat about it down the station.
Oh, bother.
I can't believe it. Both of us fined for breach of lockdown rules on the same day.
Calm yourself, Mervin. Desist with your pacing, if you please. It is grating at best, and my nerves have already been quite literally tried enough for one day.
Sorry, I'm just all of a panic. I don't know how we'll manage these fines.
What are we talking in monetary terms, Merv? What is the fiscal damage? Spare me no blow, name the price.
Donny, it was barely an hour ago. How can you have forgotten already?
Well, let us assume I was temporarily unfocused from the trivial mortal realm.
What does that mean?
I was momentarily distracted from the world of the mundane by the summons of Queen Mab.
You mean you fell asleep? Oh, Donny, how could you?
Oh, enough of these Shakespearean melodramatics. How much is it? 6pence halfpenny? 3 shillings? A florin and a golden tulip bowl? But 1 guinea?
200 quid.
Don't be ridiculous.
Plus VAT.
Who has such wealth?
Each.
200 quid? Pounds sterling? In currency? Coins of the realm? Cash money? Actual legal tender? Each? Oh, death, where is thy sting? The rest is silence. Wherever I fall, there shall I be buried, in a pauper's grave, unmarked, forgotten, tossed aside, discarded, an unread footnote in poetical history. Barely any better than you, Mervin.
Thank you, Donny. Good of you not to overreact.
This is all your fault, you realise.
My fault?
You failed to properly apprise me of the situation. I was uninformed of the aforementioned lockdown regulations by you.
I told you you have to wear a mask.
But did you make explicit the type of mask required or the purpose of said mask? No. So when I went out in all innocence and with the best of intentions, masked in good faith, in search of essential reference materials...
What essential reference materials?
Never you mind, my lad, but rest assured I hold you fully responsible for my going out without being properly informed, and therefore, quod erat demonstrandum, you are responsible for paying my fine. I give you 1 week to pay in full.
But we've got 28 days to pay. And if we pay within 14 days, then it's only 100 quid.
A week, I say, not a minute longer.
Oh, no.
So, how are you going to manage that?
We could raise the money.
How?
With a gig.
But how can we have a gig when we can't have gatherings?
Oh, good point. Oh, no, wait. We do it online, of course.
On lying? Do you mean by lying?
No, Donny, online.
On a lion? No, Mervin, we've had too much trouble with big cats before. Remember Schrödinger?
Unclog your ears, Donny. Online.
Online. Like the Oneidin line.
No, and not even remotely close. I mean on the internet.
Oh, right. That thing. Well, why didn't you say so? How on earth did you manage to obfuscate so basic a suggestion? And how precisely would that work anyway?
Well, all we need is a nerd to take care of the technical side,
Get a couple of webcams, microphones, set up a donation webpage.
Oh, stop! Desist from casually distributing this random verbiage as if it makes any sense.
Look, all you have to do is sit in front of a camera and do your thing.
I sit in front of a camera doing my thing. That would seem very much as if I were raising the money for you.
We'll take turns. It's a partnership. Come on, it'll be a laugh.
For whom?
I can probably get some mates involved to give it a bit of variety. We'll do an online link-up. Everything's going online these days.
And so you want to throw your lot in with the hoi polloi because it's the latest fad? Where's your sensitive artistic disdain for the trappings of convention?
My artistic disdain is currently shackled to a 400 quid bill. Throwing my lot in with the latest fad seems to be the best way of reliably releasing myself from this particular rock of misfortune before the kraken of poverty hoves into view to throw me into its maw.
Mervin, you know only too well I am a sucker for a Clash of the Titans reference. Very well then, you have my permission to proceed, but don't make a mess of the place with your nerds and webcams and link-ups and whatnots. I am not clearing up after you.
Yes, Donny, as if that were ever in doubt. Off you go, watch Button Moon and play with your chemicals. I'll let you know when we're ready. It should only take a couple of days or so to organise.
A couple of days or so. This is eating into your deadline, Mervin. Don't forget. On the other hand, it affords me some time to probe more thoroughly into matters amphibian. Silent Simon.
Pardon, Donny?
Oh, nothing, Merv. You go ahead with your technological voodoo. Take your time. Mervin, what's going on down here?
Oh, Donny, perfect timing. Good of you to emerge. The last 2 days have been quite productive.
Mr. Spoon was in the midst of a particularly absorbing adventure, taking Tina Teaspoon to her first trip to Button Moon, where they met some talking umbrellas. When I sensed a disturbance in the force, to wit the power went out. And what have you done to our living room?
Yeah, sorry about that. Some minor trouble with the fuses tripped the switch, but it's sorted now. We'll be ready to start broadcasting any minute.
What is all this computerized witchcraft? And who is this invasive personage crouched under our table doing God only knows what with that box of wires?
Oh, that's Alan. He's our nerd. Yes, that's right. I'm Alan Transom, at your service. Nerd by appointment, reporting for duty.
God, he is a nerd, isn't he? Nice to meet you, Alan. And why is he backing away like that?
Oh, you see, he's not in our bubble, so he has to stay at least 6 feet away at all times, and will be keeping his mask on throughout. Alan here's in a professional capacity, so it doesn't count as mixing households, I think.
Bubble? What bubble? Toil and trouble. Is my mother here? And what's mixing households that has overtures of Roman decadence?
Right, so I've got your webcams and mics set up in here, and I've checked the feed through to your guests' cameras.
Guests? What guests? Who?
Oh, I've got young Tommy Gribbins to do a bit of a jam on his guitar.
What? That kid up the road with a Jim Morrison obsession.
And I thought it would be fun if Mrs. Croon did a couple of numbers, you know, for nostalgia lovers.
You do realise the aim of this enterprise is to encourage viewers to watch and donate on the strength of the value of the entertainment provided, don't you?
Oh, not really. I mean, the punters are donating to the cause more than the acts. They're just a hook.
I'm not quite sure what a The lure is of a pubescent doors aficionado and an octogenarian smoker hacking out virulent numbers. What does that provide for our theoretical audience?
Oh no, Donny, she does Beyonce and Rihanna covers now as well.
On your head be it, Mervin. Who is this audience anyway?
Well, the Lisserati, obviously. Bohemian, artistic types. Local musicians and painters. Downwardly mobile retirees. University lecturers, the odd confused humanities student, perhaps.
Daytime drinkers and part-time alcoholics, you mean?
Possibly.
Mervin, you know I cannot abide such people. I despise anyone who is unwilling to fully commit to a vocation.
Come on, Donny, needs must and all that.
All right then. And how are we gonna gain the ill-gotten filthy lucre of said miscreants?
Well, that's where I'm having to do a bit of last-minute tweaking. It seems the donation software doesn't want to interface. Hello, little fella. Whose frog is this? What frog?
I couldn't possibly say, but under no circumstances should you lick it.
Shouldn't what? So, the ambulance crew said Alan will be fine, eventually, once he stops foaming at the mouth and hallucinating, though it will be some time before the swelling goes down, apparently. Care to explain?
Mervin, I shall.
Oh, good.
You see, much like King Harold at the Battle of Hastings, young Alan was ill-equipped to cope with the frogs.
And what, in the name of Satan's undergarments, pray tell, does that mean?
Well, and I feel I must stress at this juncture that it is an important thing that you should not overreact. I have acquired a collection of frogs. To be precise, Peruvian lickable frogs. And
all right, Donny, no problem. Lickable frogs? A collection? Of course you have. Foolish of me not to realise. Why wouldn't you be licking frogs in the middle of a frog-licking-induced pandemic?
Did I not forewarn you of the need not to overreact? Becalm yourself, Mervin. You need a restorative pick-me-up. Here, have a bang on one of these. And I must point out that from my extensive research, I have discovered the Peruvian lickable frog is not responsible for said pandemic. The culprit is in fact the Eurasian sucking toad.
Extensive research? That's yesterday's paper.
Yes, and I had to go out and purchase it myself unsupervised. And I may have picked up another fine for not wearing a mask again. Remind me to speak to you about that later. But it proves conclusively the innocence of my Anuran companions here.
Oh, well, that's all right then. I mean, never mind we haven't got the donation software running, so now we can't collect any money to pay the fines. Or that we'll now also owe Alan compensation for distress and loss of income due to incapacitation. Or that the house has become some sort of unlicensed vivarium. Because at least you can't personally be held responsible for a global pandemic. Oh, the hassle of it all. I feel ill.
Honestly, Mervin, just have a little lick of one of my Peruvian friends here and you'll feel loads better. Look. Ooh. Oh, Mervin, turn on the cameras, strike up the web feed, I'm coming over all lyrical. Oh, hoppy little orange frog who comes from far Peru, let us sit together on a log and think of things to do. We could go bowling.
Isn't that a toad?
This is what?
Poets Day. Plague for Today was written by Damien Bell and performed by Darren Gooding and Damien Bell. Music by Darren Tansley and Stuart Armitage, with Greensleeves murdered by Damien Bell. Live recording and sound engineering by Stuart Armitage. The play was recorded at Colchester Arts Centre and is an I Hear Voices theatre company production.